What's up guys, YST here and welcome back to another Raid Shadow Legends video. And today we've got some spicy topics so I brought on my spicy friend, Nub Raids. How's it going, bro?
Hey, it's good to be on. I'm hoping to offend more viewers today. We'll see.
Wait, I just introduced you as spicy. Have you been eating some spicy food today?
Spicy food today?
No?
Actually, not today. No, not
No?
today. I've
So,
been
so,
no.
so what should I call you today then? What have you had today?
Today, well, I haven't had dinner yet. For lunch, I
Yeah.
had some mushroom stuffed tortellini in like a tomato sauce with some
Okay.
Parmesan cheese,
So,
bit of black pepper.
so today we have to call you
Mushroom
Myceliac. No,
tortellini.
Myceliac Nub Raids. Because
Yeah,
he's a mushroom,
that's
right?
fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah, gotcha.
But all right, sidetrack. So basically, what we're going to be doing today is speaking about some of the areas of the game that we feel just need to change, right? Like, there's so many things that's outdated and just some like future stuff as well, and stuff that we would like to see come into this game to keep it fresh and keep players engaged over the long periods of time, right? So
Yep.
yeah, in that regards, do you want to kick us off here of like the one that you would like to see change the most looking forward?
Okay, well, here is one. I actually ran this by my viewers in a poll. I think
Hmm.
either it was on post or on a stream. I actually don't remember now.
Hmm.
And I was surprised by how positively people responded to it. Epic champion empowerment.
Okay.
Because I was thinking about this, like we've got mythical champions in the game now, and obviously legendary empowerment is a thing as well. But especially with the mythics was the thing that pushed me of going like, man, epics are so much fun. Like we just did the
Yeah.
epic only faction game with Deadwood. Epics are great in this game, but imagine a year from now when we're starting to have mythicals and void mythicals, our epic's going to become totally irrelevant. It would actually be a pretty cool thing to add in, maybe just a +2, right? Being able to +2 epic champions.
Hmm.
It's not really going to break the power creep of the game at all in any way. They're not going to make content harder because of it, but it's going to give, just your average normal player that gets lots of epic dupes a chance to, keep up a little bit and keep those champions relevant.
So right now we kind of force. Well, oh, they're trying to sell me shards. Oh,
Close.
I always do. I always click the yellow one. It's like, are you sure, YST? Yeah, but yeah, right now it's like I can have all of these champions in the vault. They're filling up my faction guardians, and that's great, right? But then after that, it's kind of sacrifice them or nothing, right? There's not really any element of what you could do with them. You can't convert them to chickens for later on and free up space. So I would like to see some kind of benefit to having extra champions in a sense. Maybe not to the same caliber as a +4, maybe.
Yeah, I think that would be too much.
I think just maybe like in some form of, even if it's not like pure power to kind of add to that power creep, maybe just stuff like accuracy or for like the Hydra boss. Like imagine some extra accuracy on an Ugu or something. I'd be completely fine with something like that. So yeah, maybe some sort of thing like that I'd agree with would be pretty cool. But yeah.
There you go.
First one for me, like Nubs. I've been playing this
Yes.
game for 4 years, right?
Yes.
4 years. I don't want to be told to buy common gear anymore, right? This market has to be the worst aspect of Raid ever. It's never had a change, never had a facelift. And let me know in the comment section, guys, do any of you actually click this 5 gem button? Because I don't think... Wait, I have to move Nubs out of the way for this one.
Oh, I'm blocking it.
This little 5 gems down here, because... I'll admit it. I did at some point when I was desperate for ancient shards because we get 5 a month, right? And sometimes I'm just trying to get some ancients. But outside of that, I feel like players should feel inclined to want to click that button and see what's on the next page, right? Like, is there going to be a legendary piece of gear in here? Maybe some materials for the forge, or, there's so many aspects like primal fragments, those quart things. Like, these things should all be in here on a consistent basis. What do you think about this, and what would you like to see changed for the market?
Yeah, obviously, I 100% agree. Like, it could be fun, but it's not. Like, literally, most of the buttons there in the market are just straight up a trap. Like, I've bought a piece of gear by accident, misclicked before, and like, oh my god, that's just 100k silver down the drain for no reason because I clicked like a 4-star common pair of gloves. It's like in my market right now. I was trying to click the green shard, clicked the wrong thing. Gosh darn it. So yeah, they could totally change it. Like you said, primal fragments in there. You could have like good gear in there, loads of stuff, energy, everything. You could have so much stuff in there. Forge materials. It's really disappointing that they haven't bothered, to be honest. So yeah, it'd be great to see them sit down. And
even I think back when the game first released, we didn't have stuff like the faction wars either, glyphs. Like imagine just throwing glyphs in here, like some 4-star speed glyphs and good gear. I think it should be scaling with levels, because anyone like anything past mid game, this is just I mean, I can farm campaign. I don't need to spend 180k.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. Yeah, Raid, sort it out, please. Like, this is like such a simple change. I think needs to be made like ASAP. So all right, next one. What you got for us here? I'm
All right,
excited.
let's go for this. Is a current topic, a hot topic.
Okay.
This is inspired by YouTube. I can't remember who left this YouTube comment, but you know who you are. But the constant barrage of 10x events is never ending right now. That needs to change. It is constant right now, and it takes away the excitement. Like, I know a lot of us content creators are like, do we even like bother making videos about this anymore? Like, there's just no excitement. There's no uniqueness. It's not an event to be excited about. It's just like, yeah, like, it's more surprising when there isn't a 10x than when there is now. So it's gone overboard.
Yeah, I agree. Like, there's literally a summoning event. I think that the portal's glowing more than it's not nowadays.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
I don't think that should be a thing. I think, like, these kind of events should be, like, something to look forward to. Like, you save your shards for, and then, oh, yes, it's finally the 2x or, like, 10x. It shouldn't even be 10x anyway. It should be, like, 30x or 40x.
Yeah.
But just, like, events in general, I think, needs to change. It's like, when we get these news nowadays, it's like, here's a bunch of events for the rest of the week, guys. And I'm like, I'm not even covering this. Like, I can't remember the last time on my channel anyway, but I've been like, yo, guys, this is the 10x. It's like, it's always up. So, yeah, I think just in general, events need to be a little bit more spread out, a bit more of an event than just all the time. Because right now it's just it's consistent. I don't know who's got the money to do it, but I don't. All right, so next one for me, we actually go back to the Guardian Ring, and it's going to be the token trader. Now, since the release of this, I strongly believe that I remember this being said that they was going to change this, right? Like,
they did, yeah.
I'm not sure how consistent they said, but it couldn't have been this consistent because it's never changed. Now, in terms of this, what would you like to see done, or in terms of the coins? Like, for me personally, I think there should be special events where it's like, get this champion now for 1,500 or something like that. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, why I see in the what is this behind my head? Why I see?
Yeah,
you're part of the problem. They're like,
no, I tell you what,
analytics. It's success.
Do you know? I actually regret it. I don't know if I regret it. Do you know what it was back then? I said I didn't want to empower champions, and it was Brackus the shifter.
Oh yeah,
so I could have got a +4 Brackus, and then I made the decision to be like, Tomb Lord opened up the opportunity for me for poison explosion teams back in the day. I was like, oh, like, this is actually going to change my dragon, my ice golem, and my fire knight. So for that one, I thought, yo, I'll do it. But then now I'm like, I ain't got a +4 Brackus anymore, so it's upsetting. But
that's true.
But even then, like, just to see, like right now, I think the points are pretty steep. Like, I don't think I'd be paying this for any of them unless I was desperate, like the Tomb Lord. But just seeing a cycle of champions, ones that could be like, I don't know, past fusions for like cheaper amounts or something. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great idea what you were saying. Like, have like these temporary sales. Like, again, lower the points generally, but then you could be like, oh yeah, for 1,500 coins, which is still a lot. Is that I've never unbound a champion. It's 500 points per legendary. It's like getting rid of 3 legendaries to buy one.
Yeah.
You know, it's a tough deal still, but I mean, having that popping up and like, oh yeah, cool, it's the champion I really want. They're up this week. Something exciting, something to actually check. Because I think for most people, they added this to the game, you looked at it once and you've never come back. Like, even the portraits are squished. Like, if it's really obvious with Foley that like the aspect ratio is not right. They don't even fit right.
I didn't even notice that until now.
yeah.
The art guy messed up and then changed it, he got sacked.
yeah, it's such a forgotten area. So there's so much they could do to make it interesting.
It is unfortunate because, like, for me personally, I'm not a big empower person, I'm not a big spender, but I do get dupes of champions, right? Yeah. And sometimes it's like, I don't need them for my faction guardians anymore. What am I going to do with them? I don't want to empower them. And if it was like 1,500 for, let's just say, I'm going to think of something reasonable here. Like, what's a reasonable champion that I think could sit on this realm? Maybe something like a martyr, you know, like a strong counter type option, or past fusions. There's a bunch of champions in here that I probably would be like, do you know what? I'd rather get rid of these 3 champions. And just thinking of some other ones, like, who do you think would sit in that realm of a 1,500 if you've seen it?
1,500. Honestly, they could put almost anyone. I just love them to go in and do it, like, just put it at random and have the dice decide. And maybe it's a freaking Duchess and everyone goes crazy, or maybe it's something terrible and people don't care. But it'd be just kind of fun to have it be random, because then it's exciting. You've like, oh, when something good comes in, you know, like it's lucky and it's something to consider.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh, I got the same flash offer. Go away. Get out of here.
I don't even know if it's a good deal. We need Smiley to come in and just like investigate for us.
Man, the way to do every flash offer is to exit off and say, no, that is exploitative marketing. Get out of here. Nope.
All right. Which one we got next then for your next change?
Okay. Okay, easy one. My next change, just go Tag Arena. I know you hate this one.
Oh man,
So
I can't look at me. I'm silver right now. Silver 1.
silver. Oh, silver 1. Oh my god.
That's actually good for me. I'm usually in bronze, so I'm pretty proud. Yeah.
you're the person that people complain about. They're like, this guy whose defense is crazy. What's he doing in bronze?
I'm trying, man. Do you know what I forget? Do you know what? Sometimes I forget about doing my battles. It's like 10 a week, right?
Yeah.
And I just, unless it's CVC, I just forget. And then I go into stream, right? And then I'm like, sorry, guys. I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to. I'm trying, man.
But yeah, no, I agree, though, 100%. Like, Tag Arena, it's a slog. There's so many battles per day. It takes so long. It is tedious. It's slow. I think a lot of people hate this. I kind of enjoy Tag Arena personally, but I still would never do, like, or almost never do all my battles. And yeah, I feel like there's a lot they could do to make this mode more interesting. I mean, even just a quick, easy fix, short term, be like, let's just cut the amount of tokens in half, but give you like twice as many bars and twice as many points. So just cut the time you need in half. Let's speed it up. There's so many time sinks in this game as it is. We don't need Tag Arena to be this massive one that people have to trawl through.
So for this next one, I actually feel like one of the biggest problems in this game is skill tomes. I don't know what the problem is, man. Like Clan Boss, yes, we get it. For people that does Ultra Nightmare, you get it pretty consistently. But even then, like, it's a stretch, man. Like, being able to save up and do up the amount of champions that we're summoning 24/7 for these fusions. Like, there's sometimes where it's like you get a fusion and you can't even enjoy them because there's nowhere to get the books. It's like you got to wait. By the time that you get the books for that champion, you've had 2 more fusions by then. It's like, you know what I mean? So one kind of I would say reasonable thing that I think Raid should implement is fragments for books, and I want these to be scattered all around the game, similar to ancient shard drops from the dungeons, right? Just as like something reasonable, I think that a Raid would do. So ancient shard right now, you know, sometimes you get an ancient, it's cool, it's like a bit of luck. I think that this should be like, no matter what you're farming, there's a chance to get fragments to make these books, and then over time, there's a form of actually getting them by doing daily activities for your energy. What do you think about that, or would you do that in a different way?
Yeah, no, I love it. I mean, you could tie that back into what you were saying near the start as well. Put those in the market, you know, get some book pages in the market, build up your book. I think it's a great idea because it makes, you know, those, it's quite fun sometimes. You're running the dungeons, you're like, oh, I got an ancient shard actually. This one, that was cool. Yeah, so being like, oh man, I got some pages of a legendary book. I'm like 4/10 of the way to get legendary book.
Do you know when they do those like those triple chance to get stunned savage and stuff?
Yeah.
Like, you could even do like, oh, there's a double drops on books in this dungeon, guys. Like, go and farm it. And I think this is going to want people to actually go in there and try and farm their books. And I think that would be very healthy for the game, honestly. Because I don't think they're going to be like, yo, here's like a whole dungeon just to farm books. But in that way, you know, you still got to invest energy. You still got to invest a bunch of time. And it's still going to take you some time to get them done. But it is an extra source of getting them over time, right? And I think that'd be pretty cool for the game.
Yeah, love that idea.
All right. What idea you got next here?
Ooh, okay. Okay. Let's go for the low-hanging fruit. Since we're talking about fragments of things, we got to talk about Primal Shards and Primal Shard fragments.
This thing, man. For God's sake.
This is the one that obviously probably everyone is expecting coming into the video. We got to talk about it. All right, we got to. But yeah, Primal Shards. I will say, to be fair, we don't know what the new content is going to be, which is presumably going to be the main source of this.
Yeah.
But I will say that the sources of Primal Shards that we've seen so far and the fragments they've been putting out, like, they've made them so expensive. It is just great. Not even talking about buying it with money. I'm talking about the ways to earn them. Like the Hydra Clash is kind of a joke. You get like 1 Primal Shard per month, and that's from like top end Hydra Clash. It is ridiculous. A lot of players probably can't even get the bottom chest of Hydra Clash. It's hard to do. And then your clan's got to win as well. But yeah, so that, like, it just seems that they are they're being way too stingy with this stuff. And yeah, I expect it will probably improve as we move further forwards. But yeah, as it is right now, even though it's like, oh, they've just released this stuff, fair enough. I'm like, man, they should be giving out more of those primal fragments than they do. It's
this is where it comes down to, like, once again with the book situation. Like, if you've got a kind of like shard system in a game, I think these should be achievable from everywhere in the game. Honestly, I do. Like,
yeah, that'd be cool too.
Like, have it in the market. Like, these things should be in the game. It's not even like I don't think we're asking too much here. Honestly, I genuinely feel like this is not a shard that's that good, man.
Yeah.
I like just full transparency. I play this game every single day, probably more than others. I've only had the 3 shards, and I had one from an event. That's
Yeah.
it. Like, I'm not gonna buy them, but it just shows like, and I do Hydro Clash every week, and I think I got 20, and then I failed a few after that. But it just puts it into perspective that people that can't complete in Hydro Clash, but they still do the Hydro keys, they've got no chance in hell of even getting a quart. Like, not even like a cheeky 5, like consolation prize. You know what I mean?
I know.
It's
Yeah, it is absurd.
like, look at this, like 50 to 30. You gotta work for a month, man, to get a shard.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's laughable. I don't know, man. But then again, it's like, once again, like, do you think they released the content too early? If it's a part of the Great Void, do you think that they should have released it with this to have the hype at the same time, instead of everyone having that luring question of how the heck do we get these? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? Like, yeah, is it a bit of a marketing blunder? Yeah, to put it out. I don't, and I genuinely don't know. That's sort of my answer. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I genuinely don't know. I can understand that probably the reason that they do it is because they want to tempt like the big spenders into buying lots of these shards, really overpriced,
Yep.
and capitalize on the shiny new thing, the honeymoon period, and make money. And then they make it more reasonable in the future, kind of like with soul stones. But I mean, you can even look at soul stones now, and it's like, for buying them with money, they like half the price. Like, you can buy them somewhat frequently for half the price that they originally released them at. Like, they
Yeah.
made it better, but like, it's still, Iron Twin still sucks. Like, the amount of fragments that drop from Iron
It's
Twins
so
is still
unfortunate.
terrible.
You just mentioned that, right? Iron Twins. I
Yeah.
loved that dungeon. Like, I don't think it's versatile enough. I think that it's very one-dimensional. So in that element, I'm not a big fan. But in terms of
Yeah.
farming, it is something that I do, and I do spend gems on it on a consistent basis. And the rewards out of it is so, like, I can't
Yeah.
I can't even afford, like, I've been playing it every single day, right? And when I get like my 6-star soul that I want, I still can't afford it. Like, and I play
Yeah.
it every day, like, you know what I mean? Like, my life depends on it. So,
I know,
for
right?
players that's just casuals and just doing their 6 a day, there's no chance. But one thing,
Yeah.
that I think people don't touch up on as well is like, even if the Great Void is the piece of content, the glory for these Primal Shards, I'm worried it's gonna be too hard for players, that like 85% of players or 90% of players to even do. And
Yeah.
this is an issue that I think we're gonna anticipate. Like, I want them to, like, prove me wrong. I want it to prove me wrong. I want it to be like an easy mode or something that people could still get it. But I am really scared that this is gonna be the end piece of content that we've been anticipating, and nobody's gonna be able to do it. And it's gonna be too hard to be able to obtain them still. I
Yeah.
don't know.
It's very easy to see that happening.
Yeah.
Like Hydra gets opened up, and like, when you first get into Hydra, like, you can't touch it, right? You
Yep.
got to be much further into the game to touch it. So I'd be sort of expecting Great Void even more difficult than that, and that would
Yep.
be wonky. Yeah, it's wonky. It's not accessible enough. But
Yeah,
we'll
100%.
see.
We'll see. Only time will tell, man. Because I was just
Yeah.
thinking, because we got the Shogun's Grove, right? And it kind of needs blessings in a sense. And it's like,
Yeah.
once they start going down that rabbit hole, you could just see that they're gonna start asking for +4s or +3s, and 50 champions in the mix. That gets, I don't know, man. But we'll see. We'll see. So next up for me, it's actually going to be my favorite content in the game, and it's the Doom Tower. I honestly think this is the best piece of new content we've ever had released, ever. I think it was better than Hydra, in my personal opinion. And the reason being is, one, it doesn't take any resources. Two, everyone's on an even playing field every rotation. We all get 10 keys that we could do a day. And, it's something we can go through and get free rewards outright. Like, no energy cost, nothing. And I felt like the bosses were innovative, and, the rotations are cool. We got all of these new mechanics, like the Stranics, the Bommels. I think we need a new rotation. Personally, I think, do you know what it is? Because right now it's like we got to wait 3 rotations to Dark Fae, and everyone wants to farm their lethal gear, and we got to wait 3 months to do so. I think we need a fresh rotation with maybe I would say maybe 1 or 2 more bosses, and I think that rotation should be a mix of everything. I think every floor should be different. You see how we got like all of these floors? I think it should be like a Stranix, Bommel, Nether Spider, and I think it should just be something like insanely crazy, or even just like a nightmare mode as like an extra throw in as well. Because we got hard, and I think if they throw in a nightmare as well, could be an extra opportunity to kind of engage the end game players as well, potentially. What do you think about that, or do you think that's a bit out of reach?
I think it's something I would absolutely love to see as well. Yeah, I think a 4th Doom Tower rotation would be cool. And then like I would love them to go back and to mix up the bosses like between them.
Yep.
As well. So like to put like maybe put Dark Fae into rotation 1, put Bommel's a bit of a blocker for people, maybe Dark Fate too, but yeah, mixing them up and mixing them through all the rotations so there's a more even distribution of all the bosses. That'd be pretty fun.
Yeah,
I guess maybe they wouldn't split Dark Fate because I think the top boss never appears in any other rotation, if I'm not wrong. I think they're
yeah.
only there. But that would be great.
Yeah, and it leads
Um,
back to the primal thing as well, because let's just say they made a nightmare difficulty of the Doom Tower, right? Like instead of
yeah.
like maybe instead of void shards, they might have like primal shards in here, right? So people can actually farm if they can go through it and have the gear for it. There's like they could add an
Mm.
extra slot to getting primals, or just adding. I think just adding quartz into what we currently have as well. Like you see, instead of these charms sometimes and a bit of silver, add some quartz along the way, right? Be a good
Yeah, they
add
could
good
do that.
addition. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have any more, or do you want me to just?
I have one more I can
Here
go
we go.
for, and then
Yeah.
and you can take it away. There's something that really stood out, even just today. If you
Mm-hmm.
go into the champion training event that went live today,
Then
and
yeah.
it's the event. Sorry, yeah, the point inflation that they're putting in, and this ties into what I was saying as well with the fragments being overpriced. But like this champion training event goes up to 17,500 points.
Damn.
17,500. Like I remember not even long ago when like 12,000 was like, wow, they've really made this really tough. They've
Yeah.
added a lot of stuff up here. Like they are pushing these events really hard. And this goes through a lot of the game. This goes into fusions getting more difficult, generally speaking, just everything getting harder. It feels like they're squeezing it more, pushing it more. And like for them, I guess they're seeing it. We're getting more engagement. People are doing it. This is great for us. But I don't know if long term it's a good strategy. And certainly for the actual player base, it's a really bad strategy. You're just making this stuff worse, more of a grind. It's not fun. So yeah, I would love to see them. They got to just dial
So
back
yeah,
on this
just
stuff.
basically like an overall inflation thing. You think they should just
Yeah,
like put a halt on it and bring like lure it back to reality a bit, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Like this stuff should be doable. Like for a mobile game, like this is like
It's
I can
crazy
do
because
this.
it is a mobile game. Like I played, do you
Yeah,
know, for the first year I played this game, right? When I was watching hellhades, there's no cam, right? He had no
yeah,
face cam, and back then I was on my phone, right? And I was struggling back then sometimes to keep up. Like I honestly feel sorry for people that's like my phone was burning. Like you do one clan boss run, the thing is destroyed. I had to like get a new phone and stuff. But that's just my
mm,
personal problems. But no, I agree. Like having to do this on a phone with like the minimal multi battles that we do get without spending is it's really insane because PC players have that advantage of auto clickers, right? And we can
yeah,
literally AFK farm, go have your dinner, come back, and 50 runs are done. But they got to kind of cater to all players and all devices, I think. And I think they think it's a PC game when it's not. It is
yeah.
in a sense,
I
but it's
agree.
not just a PC game, right?
Yep, yep.
Um, all right. So for this next one here, yeah, I'm gonna say faction wars and milestones. And I don't know if you agree with this one or if it's a stretch. I felt like when faction wars first came into the game, I really enjoyed it. You know, that stretch towards to get Lydia and all of that good stuff. I
Hmm.
would love to see an extension. Honestly, I'm not sure how I would like to see it. Maybe like a stage 25 of like a new boss at the end. And
Yeah,
right now we got the same boss, and we kind of know what we're facing. I would love to see like a kind of super hard mode going up to stage 25, and then that next boss is just gonna be like insanely hard. For fun, right? Like, I like a bit of a challenge and switch it up a bit and maybe bring in some new dynamics and strategies from our rosters instead of just the same teams we're used to. And I think that will add like a cool element to farming it every day. And also, I think there should be a quick battle for faction wars as well. I think it should.
yeah,
It
yeah.
adds to the time sink. I think once you've done it like a certain amount of times, just let us just claim the things and disappear, right?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, Faction Wars was one of my favorite areas of the game, but
Yeah,
like it's not something that's even hard. Like for when you're end game, especially, right? Like Sylvan Watcher Crypt came out and like, man, I've beaten that thing before it was even live, just
yeah,
because end game player. Now that's not true for everyone, of course.
hmm
But yeah, I think, especially with mythical champs come into the game and just generally our power increasing as time goes on, it'd be great to see more stages in faction wars. Yeah, it's put in a challenge. Like, hey, give us a way to get mythical perception gear. Mythical resilience is not that important, but hey,
yeah.
mythical perception be pretty huge. More faction war stages make sense, or like hard mode or something like that. Yeah, some fun challenge to really force you into doing it. Or, yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. Like maybe like, oh, you got to use epics only for this stage of the faction crypt, or rares only for this stage. Like you can make it really tough. And be like a proper long-term fun grind, like focus on your favorite faction. I don't know. They could
Yeah.
do cool stuff.
100%. And I just quit out that battle because I wanted to do the actual boss fight. I've got like some secret thing where I feel like if you hit the boss right, you get like a better chance for a speed glyph. But it's just my own, it's my own conspiracy theory. So I've got like a final two here. I think
Okay.
one of the biggest problems in the game is this resource up here in silver.
Ooh.
I don't know how they're gonna be able to do this, right? I think there needs
Hmm.
to be. I don't know if a silver dungeon is the right way to go. Would you have any kind of like reasonable things that you would like to implement more silver into the game? Like, because I was thinking a dungeon, then I was thinking like, is someone really gonna like just spend energy on silver? They'd rather farm a dungeon and sell it for silver.
Yeah, no,
I was
that's pretty boring.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was just thinking like, how exact? Do you think one thing that I really was thinking, right? You see how we got the gem mine? I think
Yeah.
that this should be changed to like we should have like maybe a new upgradable maybe so it can burst out silver as well, maybe 1 million a day, could be like a reasonable thing maybe. Anything like that you could maybe throw in there you can think of.
Yeah, I mean it's a tough one, right? Because it's Plarium. So
Yeah,
if they give us more silver, they're going to just up all the event points even more. So that you're not actually any better off than you were before. I mean, I would like them just to actually like you get silver as rewards in events and stuff at the moment, and usually that silver reward is so absolutely pants, it's not even worth
yeah,
mentioning. They could just like multiply all the silver rewards by 5 or something, or
yeah.
multiply them by 10, make them actually substantial and significant. Like there's some Doom Tower floors that give you like 2 or 3 million silver, and you're like, oh wow, that actually feels like I got something. That makes I can roll up a couple of pieces of gear. It's
Hmm.
substantial. Whereas like I'm just looking in that champion training event I was moaning about, there's like silver 125,000.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like, well, that
laughable.
it's laughable. Yeah, just
Yeah,
up those by loads. I
I
think that'd be
think
probably the best
I
way.
think one more thing is as well. Do you know stuff like ranking or swapping artifacts and all of that stuff, and they give us these weird
Yeah,
events? I think that should be permanent as a starter.
yeah, just
Being able to
reduce the
just
cost. Yeah,
swap freely, and I also think, do you know when you're doing fusions and they kind of slap that million on you at the end, and every single,
yeah,
it's just like, do you know these little like random silver dumps? I think they should just be removed because players are spending millions on artifact enhancement events, right? And the last
yeah,
thing they want to do is spend that extra couple million at the end, right, infusing the champions. And I think if you've grinded the events and tournaments, it's kind of like an extra event. It's like an extra artifact enhancement at the end. It's like just summoning these champions, right? Like,
yeah. I'll say I wouldn't want gear swapping to be free all the time
okay.
because that makes the optimal way to play very tedious, right? If you want to, like, you'd be swapping people for every single fight, every single
So
thing.
what would you say in terms of, so right now it's 100 grand, right, for a 6-star legendary? Would you just say
Yeah.
like split it 50% off?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think that'd be great. Like, just permanently half the cost of all the
Hmm.
silver removal for gear permanently, and then give us events like maybe every month or so for a couple of days to free removal. But have it be limited for the free removal. So it's like, oh, okay, I can come in now. I've waited. I can swap all my gear for free for a little bit, redo my teams. But I don't want it to be like, oh, I swap all my gear onto this team for faction wars #1, and I swap it onto this team for faction war #2, and then I swap it onto my arena farm. Like, which would I think it would make it pretty intense for early game players, especially that don't have much gear,
Yeah.
to be constantly swapping, and that's really tedious.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that'd be
Yeah.
my thoughts on it.
Yes. So I guess the final one that I wanted to do, probably my most favorite idea, I guess, would be,
Okay.
I think this game misses out on the friends element really badly.
Hmm.
Do you know, like, I know a lot of people that are driven off communities and become real good friends by simply being friends in a game, right?
Yeah.
We kind of became friends off a game, but
Yeah.
it's in a
Exactly.
different
Yeah.
format. But I
Yeah.
think, do you know, like this chat up here, I think it's just bleak, like I don't remember anyone that
Yeah.
actually chats in here on like a consistent basis or anything within clans. I think the engagement, like we got clan quests, but it's kind of, even though it's a clan quest, it's still selfish in a way of only you get that reward. And I would love to
Yeah.
see a way where one, we can have like friends list and maybe every day we kind of send like, like a, what's the word? Do you know
You
when you
could
get
send
like
like a little gift or
yeah,
something
like a
like
little
that.
gift, like
Yeah.
gift a friend and complete this quest in a day and stuff, and it could drive some engagement like that, or just like quests that you work together. Like if you guys beat the spider 5,000 times this week, then you get this reward, like a primal shard. I think, do you know, like
Hmm.
a cumulative quest rather than everyone just take your own quest and do it in your own time. I think that would add like a really cool clan orientated thing to the game, and I think that's really really missing, honestly, for a game like this.
Yeah, I love that idea. I mean,
Yeah.
one really cool thing they did, I think it was in Awakened Chaos Era, which I played for
Mhm.
a little bit, and then I was like, this is boring. But one cool thing they did do was that for like going through campaign or stuff, like progressing through the game,
Yeah.
you could set one of your champions to go out on loan, right? That anyone on your friends list could, I think, 3 times every day take your champion and use that champion that you had built on your account and everything. It wouldn't take it away from you. They could just like copy it and borrow it for a few fights every day to help them get through campaign or something that they're stuck on, and just
that would be a really good catch-up mechanic as well. Do you know, for players that's just coming in, like if they could just steal my Baron one time, clear the whole thing, you know, they'll be flying through it. They'd have to spend so much time. And another thing is, I feel like they really missed the mark on Live Arena. Like, I'm one of those players where I don't hate it. I do like it from time to time. There is times where I just, you know, I'm just chilling and I'm doing some Live Arena battles. But I strongly believe that at the very, very minimum, players within clans should be able to just ask to fight each other. Like, can you imagine even for like content as well? Like, it could be like Nubs versus YST, Live Arena battles, and the competitions of Deadwood and stuff. Like, it would literally change the game if you can just literally choose who you want to fight. Like, I want to fight hellhades today. I want to fight viewers. Like, I could have viewers on the channel and be like, me versus a viewer. I think that would be really cool to test out our teams and, you know, would add a really fun element. And the mechanic is there. Like, we can fight people live. So I don't understand why we can't, you know, ask a friend to play live. It's the same kind of thing as we matchmaking, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I guess they feel like maybe normal people wouldn't use it very much, but
I think
like, it would be massive for content creators.
I think it would be one of the most used features in the game, honestly. Like, do you know, in like Discord communities, they can have their own tournaments and, you know, like, I don't know. I just think it's got endless possibilities that's there, but...
Yeah, I agree. It is the sort of thing that really should be there. Yeah,
I think it's a really simple change. But yeah, I guess on that note, Nubs, not going to keep you here too long, even though it's been 30 minutes. But you know, we love keeping you here on the channel. That's what people
like, apparently. Yeah,
they love it.
Saying
more.
We want it.
Last time I did a clap for 1 hour, and the guy was like, "Yo, was that it?" I was like, "Yeah."
Oh my god!
I have people that say they listen to us during their journey in between jobs. They got like they forgot a commute and they've just got it in the background in the car. So it's become like a staple, right? These clubs.
Yeah. Some guy is like listening to us at Oppenheimer. He's not even like listening to the movie, and it's like, man, it only lasted 1/3 of the movie. What's going on,
damn,
guys?
We got to rewatch them. Look at them all class.
Yeah,
but we are gonna head over to Nub's channel and do something. We're not sure yet, but we're gonna find out on the spot. So whatever that video is, it'll be in the description below. And sub to Nub, guys. He is literally on the bridge of 30,000 subscribers, and I'd love to see him get there. Ooh, so let's do it today, guys. You know, let's make it happen for the man. And yeah, we'll catch you all on a video soon. Peace.